Hi everybody, it's Friday the 27th of September.
It's not Friday.
Sorry, it's Wednesday. I'm locked on Friday. I'm actually locked into every day of the week and they're all mixed up now. So today we're going to talk about the subject of advocacy. What it means to people, what qualities are good that make good advocates, and what are your own experiences of the lack of advocacy or people that have spoken up for you to deal with different situations. I don't want to be mentioning specific names because that's obviously confidential because the people aren't here. Don't name any places. I think Trey mentioned that earlier. Just the actual occurrence, the activity that took place where you felt so you've been let down. And maybe an advocate could have helped you with that. Yeah? So I'll start with my good colleague Trey here and ask her what she thinks an advocate should do and what qualities an advocate should possess in order to help people. Trey?
I feel an advocate, one thing would be to get to know the person they're there to help. Get to know them, what it is they would like, and what it is that they're having problems with. Have a good therapeutic relationship going on, so that when you do go to meetings or meet professionals or deal whatever it is they need your help with, they're comfortable with you. So if they get stuck, if that person isn't able to communicate as well on that day or gets stuck with something or feels unsettled or intimidated, you know as an advocate what it was they wanted to express. You know, they've talked at length about what it is they want, their needs, what problems they're having. So that when you do talk to other people about that, you have a good idea that what you're saying is what the person you want to help wants and needs. And that takes time. I feel that does take time.
Thank you, Trey. Mark, have you had any experiences where you believe an advocate would have been of use to you?
Yeah.
And has there been any situation, either recently or in the past, where someone has spoken up for you in a particular meeting and was it a good experience? Was it a bad experience? Do you think that you should have an advocate on a regular basis when you go to things?
Yeah.
And why is that, Mark? Why would an advocate be good for yourself when you go along to meetings?
To help you.
And in what way do you think the advocate can help you?
Speak up for us.
So on that subject, and again I'm not mentioning names or places, but recently you had, I think I mentioned this on the previous podcast, which is on the Stepping Stone 2 blog site, Facebook page, check it out, a little bit of a plug there, where you asked someone to go along and be your advocate and speak for you. Now you'd said there before that they speak for you.
Yeah.
An advocate doesn't necessarily say what the person wants unless that person requests that they do so.
Yeah.
Now you recently made a request whereby someone did go along on your behalf and speak up for you, correct?
Yeah.
The inference then was from another quarter was that this person was putting words into...
Putting words in my mouth.
Yeah. Now that for me is not the case. Obviously because you asked someone to go along, i.e. Trey. If someone struggles with what they want to say, you help them.
Yeah.
Now Trey mentioned the therapeutic relationship, and that's pretty much where two people get to know each other and understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can better act for that person. Yeah. So you have a good idea what the person wants, you have a good idea what that person's asked you to lobby for them. So it isn't putting words in your mouth, it's helping you to speak up yourself in some way so you can be a part of that meeting. Yeah. That's what an advocate's for.
Yeah.
And I know there is a lot of advocates who basically don't do anything
Yeah.
other than let the person sit there, and then it's said, oh, you like to do such and such, don't you, Mark?
Mm.
Now they're pretty much closed questions, and you can bet your bottom dollar someone's going to say, well, yeah, I do, and that's it, you know. Whereas because you and Trey had met prior to your meeting, she
Yeah.
had a good idea
Yeah.
what it was that you'd asked her to do.
Yeah.
We all know the rest is history because things didn't go the way that perhaps you'd expected, but hey. So you would think that you would need an advocate when you go to a meeting. Would that be the case every time?
Maybe every time.
Yeah, would you feel that would be... I mean, I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, but it might be that you're quite cool on that day and the person doesn't really need to get involved too much.
Yeah.
But your recent one was quite crucial to you,
It
wasn't
was.
it? Very important.
Yeah.
And it was about moving on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in those situations, an advocate they have to be proactive. Yeah. You don't just sit there and say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You basically sometimes come in because it's going to help the person to move forward. Gary, what do you think is important about having an advocate?
Someone that does things for me, speaks for me.
Yep, proactive again.
Yep.
Yep. Did you find that the last time you had one that the experience was very much like that, or was it not very proactive?
Do you mean?
I don't want to mention any names or organisations, but you had a recent one.
Yeah.
Was it last year, I think, where you were given an advocate?
It was 2013.
That's right, yeah. And did that work out for you, Gary?
No.
No. Do you think it was proactive, the way you said there about doing things for you? Do you think it was proactive, or was it not that good?
It wasn't that good.
Right. So how could it have been done better? What could someone do? Now, you mentioned Tony, you mentioned Stephen, we mentioned Kim before, who's escaped now because she's frightened to go on the podcast. She'll be outside now doing quiz words, reading a magazine and having a fag at the same time.
Oh,
it's multitasking, that Trey. So what do you think could have been done or should have been done better by an advocate that would have helped you with the situation you were in? What could have been done by the advocate?
An advocate could have helped me with come see my mum, plan events, and get more staff in.
Now, you had a good advocate, Gary, going back some time ago, and I know because you mentioned a number of times about this person. It was obviously good. What were the qualities of that person that you always remember that person now as being a good advocate? What was good about that person? You can remember.
I got out of, shall I say the word, hospital.
Hospital's fine, yeah.
Yep.
And this advocate you mentioned before, they were involved in getting you moved on, is that right? Yeah. And that's proactive, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they could have just gone to meetings and just not done a great deal, and then Gary would still be in the same situation. So Gary does actually see the contrast of a good advocacy situation, a bad one.
Yeah.
So if you had one like that, Gary, yeah, and I know Trey's been acting for Mark, it would help you immensely, wouldn't it?
It would
when you go along to meetings, and I think you're right, Mark. I think it'd be useful for every meeting that you go to. Jen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you the question. Right, what do you think advocacy means? What is an advocate? And what use would it be to you? Have you had one before?
No.
Have you heard of them?
No.
So you're not totally certain on what their remit is then? Yeah? I'm going to ask Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just turn that way so we can see Gary? Jen, that's it. Don't hurt your side.
No.
Gary, what is an advocate?
An advocate is a person that looks up for you, speaks up for you, or does things proactive.
Absolutely, yeah,
what
yeah.
you want to do. Yeah.
So if there's a situation crops up, a difficult one, and I'm
Yeah.
going to mention one where really an advocate should have been involved,
Yeah.
and that's your situation with the dress, the clothing. Yeah? I'm not going to mention the specifics because, again, we would leave ourselves wide open. But you weren't encouraged to work with Trey in relation to buying different clothes, trying them on,
Yeah.
choosing them yourself, etc. It was pretty much kiboshed.
Yeah.
What would an advocate have done in that case? If it didn't work out for you, what could they have done? Who could they have spoken to? So, if Trey talked to your staff team as an advocate,
Yeah.
like Gary said, what could Trey have done for you to resolve that problem with the clothing? Because they stopped you, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah? So what could Trey have done that would have changed that, had she been your advocate? Who would you have spoken to? Who would Trey have spoken to?
The manager.
Manager, yeah? Staff team?
Yeah.
Yourself and Jem would have been present
Yep.
Yeah,
at that
they
meeting.
would have been,
And what would the advocate be doing? What would they be, whose corner would they be fighting?
Mine.
Yeah? So they would want the best results for you at the end, wouldn't they? Yeah? And what would the best result have been in that situation about the clothing? What would be the best outcome for you? Remember how upset you were when you couldn't get the, was it a dress, I think?
It was a skirt and
Yeah.
shorts, wasn't it?
I'm alright with that now.
hmm So,
I don't wear it very often, but I do wear it.
yeah, but what could have been resolved at that time when your staff team were telling you couldn't have, or they weren't too happy about you getting a skirt, I think was the case, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Yeah, what could Trey have done?
I had a word with them.
And she would have asked them what?
My continue for not have the skirt.
Absolutely. It's up to the other side to justify why they're saying what they're saying. And they haven't got the right to stop you doing something like that unless there's something really seriously dangerous about that, but I can't see it somehow. So you'd be looking out for the best outcome for you, wouldn't it? Yeah, and Gary's quite right when he mentioned the best outcome for him was he got moved on to a better situation. Yeah, so
Yeah.
quite clear that advocate was really good, Gary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nigel. Thanks, Jen. Advocacy. Who has advocated for you in the past? Me.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Harry.
Who else has advocated for you?
I don't think there was no one ever. Oh, Tracy. But
It's got added on you to.
Yeah.
oh, sorry. What am I doing?
So what have I been doing as an advocate? I didn't act as an advocate as such because I didn't name myself as one, although I've been trained in advocacy. What was it I did that helped you? And how did I do it? What kind of things was I doing for you, Nigel? And in what way?
Help me with stuff. With where I live and that, and
Yeah, like with Mark, getting moved on.
yeah, get moved on, moving on and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Get you flat.
Yeah, help me get me the flat I'm in now, and help me with other stuff as well. Like
What about things like dentists or doctors?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and
because
housing association.
I was going down the hill, and you helped me say, "Come on, you got to get yourself sorted out." And
Benefits.
benefits as well.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't that you were totally unable to do things because there
No,
was a
no.
certain amount of it you could do, and
Yeah.
same with Mark as well. But there were certain times where I realised that actually, had I not stepped in, then it wouldn't have got to where it got
No,
to.
I wouldn't.
And that's crucial for an advocate. You can't sit back.
No, you can't.
You know, you go in there proactive because you're fighting that person's corner. And if people get defensive about that, that's not your job to crawl away and think, oh, well, all right then, which is what happened in Gary's situation. You have to say, well, actually, why can't my client do this? Why are you saying this to my client? Why? And you're pretty proactive. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's not being bullshit. You know, you play as an advocate and you fight in someone's corner. And you just say, "Oh, well, all right, to go back to the normal life again, where it's all still going on." And of course, in your case, Mark, you've asked for a move,
Yeah.
and whenever there's another meeting, when she goes along,
Yeah.
she being Trey,
Yeah.
she will be fighting your corner. It
Yeah.
won't happen the way it happened last time.
No.
And if you struggle with what it is that you're trying to say, then
Yeah.
she will be proactive and help you.
Right.
I mean, she helps you anywhere now,
Yeah.
outside of that particular
Yeah.
context, you know. But there's many areas of advocacy that people can be involved in that isn't necessarily just a meeting. Yeah, it might be a situation where someone finds it difficult to do a transaction with the bank.
Yeah.
You can go along with them and you can speak for them and help
Yeah.
them. That's advocacy. Yeah, we kind of get a bit lost on the word because some people don't and Jen didn't know what it means. But it's helping people to move from one place to another and be settled. Yeah? Anybody got any questions? Lucy? Any questions? No? You okay with that? Right, so has my beautiful colleague got anything to add to that? Are you quite
I'm
fine
fine.
with that? Right, so we're going to finish
Yeah.
our podcast today, and we are going to come back to it. It will be going on the blog, Stepping Stone 2 blog. Check it out, Facebook
And
page.
did the new punch bag as well.
Oh yeah, thank you, Nigel. Trey today purchased a punch bag. It's replaced myself and Nigel
It has, yeah.
and Mark. She's now going to set that up in her bedroom. So if you can hear a lot of banging going on coming from Seaton,
Yeah.
where's it you live? Lindbeck Court or whatever, Lindbeck
Somewhere
Avenue.
somewhere on there, yeah.
It's Trey hitting the
Bag.
punch bag.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, she got it from Sports Direct. Yeah, she picked it up this morning. She's like a little schoolgirl who just got a bag of sweets for herself on the way to school, and she's never stopped smiling since. So
Go on the punch and stuff. You know when these sparks flying from stuff, you can see sparks coming from Satan.
absolutely, yeah, there'll be sparks flying.
Nah.
So it will be going on the blog if you want to check out Trey hitting her new punch bag. We haven't named it yet, but we will give it a name. Just check it out on our
I know
Facebook
what you call
page.
that. Punching Judy.
Punching Judy, Punching Tracy.
Punching Tracy.
Yeah. So that's a wrap. Thanks for listening, folks. Any comments you want to add, just go on the page and put them down, and then we'll never talk to you again. Thank you.